Hello, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the evening of Sunday, November 19th, 2023. Hope you all had a great weekend. In this video, going to talk about the outlook for gold and silver and the miners this coming week and a little bit beyond. But first, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Now, let's get into the video. Starting off here, we have the weekly candle charts for gold at the top, silver at the bottom, gold-silver ratio here. So let's talk about gold. You know, we had 2 weeks ago, we had this nasty candle after some distribution here around 2,000. Then we get this hard sell-off, 3% decline in gold. I start talking about this support here at 1910 and breaking that, you know, then you might test this. Well, then you get the low CPI print last week and a strong rebound in pretty much everything, or almost everything. So you had a 2.5% gain in gold up to 1985. So we're right at 1985, 2000 weekly resistance. You know, if gold is going to go through 2000 in the next couple weeks, I'm not sure it would do it immediately. Maybe it would consolidate a little bit for a few weeks and then go back above. But gold right now is, I mean, if you're a bear, gold is too close to these critical resistance levels for your liking. Because we're looking at, on the weekly side, other than 2000, 2025 and 2028. Those, I mean, those are basically the all-time high closes. So if you see gold make a weekly close above 2000, and it probably has to be above here, but you know, you get 2007, 2010, something like that, you're probably going to see some follow through. On the other hand, you know, if gold is unable to close above 2000 in the next few weeks, then again, that could bring this 1910 into play. As far as the moving average, 200-day equivalent is at 1949. I think the low was around 1945. So, you know, looking at the daily short-term charts, I mean, there is support here around 1940. So for now, gold is in a tight range from 1940 to 2000, and you know, we're looking at a little resistance at 1985 to 2000. Now, moving on to silver. Looking at the daily chart, it's interesting because, like, you know, 2-3 weeks ago, I was talking about, well, I mean, can it close above the 200-day? It's testing it. Then a week ago, I said, well, looks like it's not going to close above it. Probably going to test 21 now. Then it completely went the other way last week. And this was a strong candle. You can see this is a bullish engulfing candle because the body of this candle is bigger than the body of these candles. And gold closed above the closes in all these recent weeks. So looking at the weekly resistance for silver, of course we have 26. I mean, you have this. I've talked about it in past videos. It's really too early to know if this is a real head and shoulders pattern. You would need silver to move up to 26 and a weekly close at this red line, you know, before the end of the year in January. You get something like that, then you could say, yes, you know, something is, it's what's called a complex head and shoulders pattern. But we really need to rally up to the neckline to really push this pattern, you know, over midfield, use a football analogy. Like, there's still a lot of work to do to say that this could play out. But, you know, don't rule it out. I mean, every time I start ruling it out, getting bearish, it seems like silver rallies. But then, just as silver starts to move a little bit, it sells off again. So there's still, I mean, this is the first weekly resistance level. I think this is at, I want to say 2450, this first line. Again, then you have 26 here. So look, nice move for silver, but I mean, it can rally a little bit more and then, you know, turn lower again. So that's where it is. It still has to prove it. We need to see follow through. As for the gold silver ratio, I mean, it's been going sideways for most of the year. You know, now you could draw a trend line here, maybe say it's breaking a little bit, you know, because you had this nice move in silver. You know, I would think for the rest of the year, given this the Fed's no longer tight. They're no longer going to be hiking. Inflation's going to come down. That kind of trade, even though there's a sniff of a soft landing associated with that because the market's discounting that. That's not the best thing for precious metals. It's not in the big picture. However, in the short term, that can give silver a lift over gold. So keep that in mind. Now, getting to the stocks, a little bit more interesting here. We mentioned these. I mean, this head and shoulders pattern here. I mean, this is a weaker one, but it looked like these were failing a week ago. Then we got the sharp rebound. So starting with GDX, I mean, 30 is really significant resistance. You have the 200-day here. That's the blue line, 30.19. So this is a real significant resistance level. Silver's at, or it's not silver. GDX is at 28.43. So GDX can push up to 30. I don't know what percent, maybe 5. It can push up 5 or 6% without making a little breakout here. Now, if more buying comes in, like you get a strong move above 30, above the 200-day, maybe that'll bring 32.5, 33 into play. So if we're short-term bulls and GDX can push past this line, that's the next short-term objective. For GDXJ, this here, I want to say it's 39. So that's the target. 34.60. Again, there's some room where it can move without breaking out of this pattern. I mean, 34.60, the 200 days at 36.21. Again, you get a strong close above that, then that brings 39 into play. So that's the potential upside over the next month or two if we're going to see more money potentially come into miners. I mean, choppy action here in GDXJ, really choppy, but looking at these lines here signaling support, I mean, it's held here at 32.50. It held there, held there, it held a couple times here. So, maybe, I mean, this has a chance. I think miners have a chance to rally a little bit more into the end of the year. So there it is. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Where are the metals and miners going to be moving over the next month and a half or the rest of the year? I know I didn't make any definitive statements, kind of assessing both possibilities, but looking at the miners, they're still oversold, and there's a lot of money is going to be buying things into the end of the year, and maybe some of that will spill over into the miners. So just keep that in mind. That's the outlook for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you guys in the next video.